Hey, welcome everybody. Master of Real Estate. It's good to see you on our December 9th. December 2nd class, 2021. We will have, I'll talk to you here in a second. I have a slide. We will be meeting next Thursday on the 9th, same time, 1 to 2 Eastern time. And then we'll be taking the rest of December off, I believe. And so if that changes, I'll let you know. And then be watching your email because we'll let you know if we're going to stay on Thursdays or go back to Tuesdays. All that depends on my teaching schedule, travel schedule in December. So if you're new, or January. So if you're new to the class, what we're talking about here is we're going through mastery level role play. And the style is, you should have this memorized by now. You can say it in your sleep, question-based, listening enhance, conversations. And that's what it's all about. And you might, we do some memorization. However, we really want to teach you how to think. And when you have the right thought pattern, the conversations actually come easier and kind of natural. So just so you can see, reiterate, we have our class today. We have our class next week, same time on Thursday, 1 to 2 o'clock. And then we'll be off for December. If you haven't already, go to YouTube. YouTube's a good channel out there. I'm watching. You can learn anything you want on YouTube, John. You know that if you want to raise alpaca, you can learn how to raise alpaca. You can learn how to raise bees, anything you want. You can find it on YouTube. And even I'm there. Go to Denny Grimes Mastery of Real Estate. The page kind of looks like that. We're working our way towards 500 subscribers, which is awesome. So help us get there. And there's a lot of great resources on there that are free. So John, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Denny. Appreciate you asking.
Yeah, you said you had a good day. You were on a listing appointment. You're attempting to figure out if you want the listing. I totally get that.
Yep.
You got two more after the call. So you're just not a pretty face. You're actually out there doing something.
Yeah, I've got 2 more listing appointments today. Just came from one and had a recruiting appointment prior to that. So it's been a good start to the day today.
And I don't want to put you off guard because I'm not really sure where you are, Sonny. Our Vanta White is Sonny. Sonny, how are you today?
Sonny has asked me to handle all the admin duties today so she can continue setting up for Santa Claus.
Yes, we have Santa come into our office. Just a quick recap, you guys. As you know, I'm a bold coach for Keller Williams, and so I spent 3 days teaching 3 different locations, listening to what people are saying about some events they did over Thanksgiving. And this is going to be real important. I'm going to come to this in a second because I always start with the thought of the day. And let me give you my thought of the day. We got 2 thoughts for you. Number 1, we're going to be talking about communication. Exactly. That's why you guys are on the call here. You want to be able to communicate better through conversations. And that's why we practice role play. What's interesting, somebody said the other day, and you know I'm a big football fan and sports fan. In fact, I just like people that master. I joked about raising alpaca or raising bees. There's an art to that, right? There's an art to everything. And I respect people that stay with it long enough to get to an expert level. So anyway, somebody said something about how much time, if I was thinking about a professional football player. So take any position you want, quarterback, offense, defense. Okay. What is the ratio of practice hours to playing minutes? What do you think that might be, John? So I know you're a sports fan. So take a quarterback, and I won't brag on Brady, although I could.
You know, for what it's worth, since you mentioned Brady, Denny, I should let you know that our new OP is a huge Tom Brady fan.
Well, good. That's awesome.
Just I'm only saying that because there's a spy in the house, and that's just a polite little dig at her. Anyhow, I have to figure that professional athletes are practicing somewhere in the vicinity of 8,000 to 10,000 hours of practice for every hour of performance when you add it up through the accumulation of their career.
Wow. Anybody else have a thought on that? And that's awesome. Because when you really look at it, okay, there's a 60-minute football game, right? And if it's balanced, that means there's 30 minutes of offense and maybe 30 minutes of defense, unless you're the Giants and you're probably on defense all the time. So then a quarterback would be one player. He is in there the most. However, like Antonio Brown or wide receiver, they're not in every play. So they may only get 15 touches. They may only run 20 plays out of that whole game. And they practice all week. So communication is going to be really key. So here are 3 numbers that I'd like to show you. And just to remind you, you might have heard this before. This came up in our conversations this week in my class. 3 numbers. There's 7%, 38%, 55%. Does anyone on the call want to take a wild guess at what we're talking about here?
I guess I'll say it, Denny.
Well, yeah, you are very
I
smart.
already know
humble.
it, I mean, but
Very
I
smart.
guess
Humble, yeah. All right, what is it, Brian?
7% of the words matter, 38% of the tonality, and 55% of your body language, facial expression has influences on communication.
Yeah, that's
Big
exactly.
studies behind it.
How did you? That's something. I'm impressed you knew that. You know, as a young whippersnapper. Here it is, right there. Our communication 7% words. Our tonality 38%, and our body language 55%.
Must have been the shampoo.
Yeah. So here is the thing that I want you to think about is that basically, if you're having conversations and what we're practicing are conversations, although sometimes we maybe have to having these conversations via text, emails, etc., because some people prefer to communicate that way, right? 93% of our communication is nonverbal. So when we're practicing our scripts and dialogues and our conversations, going back to how much an athlete practices, what you want to make sure you're doing, and we're going to ask you to be a little bit more in tune to the tonality and the way you deliver it, which takes practice, is to be sensitive to that. Now, here's the interesting thing. If we can do it because we can hear you, you can hear us, you can tell us, give us feedback. We hear about mirroring and matching, and we kind of do this. There's a lot of things. There's body language, there's tone, there's volume, there's pace, and of course, the words. As we go through our practice today, what I want you to be focused on, and everybody listen to, the way it's delivered, not just what's said, however, the tonality. And if anyone out there, John, is married, I mean, we get this, right? I mean, or in a significant relationship, you know, when you get the look from your significant other, they don't have to say anything. Now, Brian, someday you'll have a girlfriend and you might understand that. You'll understand the look. They never have to say anything. So the thing is that you don't know what your tonality is all about, and it's impossible to practice alone. So that's why you should be practicing with an accountability partner. Now, this is something that we develop naturally. Now, we want you to develop it professionally. Like, for example, I don't know if there's any mothers on here or anybody that knows a mother or used to be a mother or had a mother. However, we all change our tonality automatically. When you see the little baby there in the background, if you can see the screen, it's kind of like, oh, aren't they so cute? I don't talk like that with babies. However, when I see a dog, I'm a big dog lover. I'll talk that way to the dog. So we automatically change our tone. Let's make sure that we're using the right tone as we move forward. So you can comment on that if you want. I do want to give you one more thing before we go into some conversations here, a market update. So I'm talking about the single family market in Southwest Florida. Now, when I was in New York, every time I'm in New York and teaching, I'm asking, what do you see going on? What's going on? And I'm finding the same thing. Even in New York, we're finding that buyers are backing off a little bit. They're not getting as many offers as they once did. Things aren't selling quite as fast. So we're starting to see that same change we've been talking about. Here are the numbers as they shake out in the Southwest Florida market, specifically Lee County, if you can read that. I put June up there, June of last year. That was the crescendo month. That was the best month we had year over year in the number of homes being sold from 2021 to 2020. And that was up 41%. Yay, right? Some people thought it would never end. Well, it had to end, and I'm glad it did. And now what you can look, you've got July, August, September, October, November, 5 months of negative sales over year. So I want you to kind of remember that, because as we've been talking about, buyers, that when I ask the same question to 3 different classes in New York, what's the number one buyer objection you get? Hey, I'm a little bit concerned about this market. I think it's slowing. I don't think now is a good time to step into it. So, John, we can have some conversations around that, because it's still the number one objection I'm hearing from agents around the country. You can share what you think about that too here in a second. That's what's going on. And again, the important thing to remember here, the media may start talking about that. Buyers will love that. They will think the market's, starting to slow down, and they're going to get buy one, get one free, right? The numbers, although they're slower than 2020, they're still double digit above 2019. So our market is moving quickly. It's just not supersonic. So that's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts of the day. Do you guys have any questions? Because the questions on buyers and sellers' mind is, will it continue? Will it correct? Or will it crash? And I believe our buyers and sellers need us to be educated on the market, to be the local economist of choice, to answer these questions, to help them move forward, if moving forward is what they want to do. So any thoughts from John, or maybe some comments out there in the chat? What's going on?
Honestly, Denny, I haven't been experiencing this conversation yet with buyers. I'm preparing sellers for it, because obviously the media is going to be out there pushing this. But again, if we go back to, and I know you've said this before in previous classes, if we go back to 2019 and compare 2019 to 2020, I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but November 2020 was a monster month. And if we're only off by 5%, that still shows that we have a very solid market down here locally.
Wow, that's awesome. Any other comments? What you're seeing? We're ready to get into some conversations. This is the request time. Somebody requests something, and I know that Bryant, you're not shy. And what kind of conversation would you like to have to start off the role play here?
Talking about, I just hear a lot with buyers that everything I see online is under contract. I don't know what to do now, right? That conversation, which there's many things you can go into.
Yeah, so if you're having a conversation, then you must be expert at handling that conversation, right? Using our technique in the model of acknowledge, isolate, answer, and close, all being via questions, right? So why don't we find somebody who would like to be that buyer, and maybe you can handle it, and we'll kind of give you some sandpaper. Is this my wife? Is my wife on there, or is that somebody pretending to be my wife?
No, she's the spy I was referring to earlier.
Okay. Well, she has it on. However, she's doing something else, because she's what do you call that? Multitasking.
She misses you, Denny.
All right, let's get that. Let's go on. So let's pick somebody to be a buyer. Let's be a buyer with that objection, and let's talk. Let's go through this little conversation.
Let's throw Josh under the bus. His camera's on, and I know he's paying attention. So let's have him be the buyer, and Bryant can be the agent to handle that.
Cool. Josh, you ready?
You got to unmute yourself there, buddy.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And just again to reiterate, objection is that everything that they're seeing is already under contract, correct?
Yeah, everything they see is under contract, and they don't know what to do next. They're frustrated.
Okay, gotcha. You're going to be the agent. I'm the buyer. Got it.
Yeah.
I got 3 minutes. I got an egg timer. 3 minutes, Brian. Okay.
So Josh, tell me, first, how are you looking for homes?
Yeah, you mean as far as like the search itself, like what I'm doing to look? Yeah. So I've been looking on Zillow, a little bit on Redfin, a few other places, essentially just on my app when I have time. Yeah, that's how I've been looking for houses.
Yeah, so I guess everything that you see on those sites, as soon as you see them, do they seem like they're going on a contract faster than ever?
Yeah. So, the issue that I'm seeing is that, something that I think that I get interested in, I reach out, something that I need to reach out about, it's already under contract. So it's just getting really frustrating at this point, because it seems like it's the same conversation. So over and over.
Yeah. So Josh, if you could see houses before they hit the market, would that be something you're open to?
Yeah, absolutely. At this point, yeah, like I said, I've been looking and looking, but it's just getting a little frustrating at this point. So yes, absolutely.
Okay. So if we were to find something that you like, let's say that second hits the market, would there be any other reason that would stop you from going and seeing it that day?
I mean, work or, family or something else might be there, but for the most part, I'd say no. So,
Okay. And if you were at work and you couldn't get there within the next 8 hours, I mean, if you love the house from the pictures, would you be open to submitting an offer right then and there before even seeing it?
so that that I'm not really sure about. More so just because, I feel like I'm one of those visual people. I need to see it or have, my wife or somebody else see it before I'd make a decision like that.
Yeah. So do you think the buyer that gets the house under contract first are the smart ones that submit an offer knowing they can back out within the inspection period and just in case?
I mean, yeah, I hadn't really thought about it like that. So more of it for me was, go ahead.
Yeah. So if you were to see something that you absolutely loved, another buyer that is willing to submit an offer right then and there, what is there to lose?
Yeah. I mean, it would really have to be that kind of house, I guess, for me to be able to pull a trigger like that. So.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it, John. I mean, Denny, I don't really know. I mean, that's.
Okay,
I mean,
so there's one thing, hang on, there's one thing that you have not done yet, where's the commitment? Close for the commitment.
Okay. Josh, there's many of buyers out there that are doing the exact same thing as you, that are just like you, pre-approved, or there's some that's even paying for cash, paying with cash. The only difference between them and you is who's the quickest one to, get in the house and submit an offer. But then again, a smart buyer with a smart agent would submit the offer before seeing, knowing they're able to back out if they don't like the house. So Josh, if we can make that happen and get you in a house within the next few weeks, month, whatever your time frame is, would you be willing to commit with me and work with me to make that happen for you, so we can get you and your family in a house that you love without the frustration?
Yeah. I mean, that sounds good to me. I mean, at this point, that's what we need. We're going to need to find something sooner than later. Been looking long enough. So, we're not looking, but we've been online and having that frustration. So at this point, it's starting to get to where we need to get going. We need to get running. So yes.
Awesome.
That was the yes. All right, you closed it. All right, way to go. So you're on a roll. So any feedback from the gang out there? Let's give him some love. What you like about what he did? Let's give him some love on that, and maybe some suggestions on things he could have asked. And again, there's more than one way to play a chess match. So any comments? This is interactive, you guys. This is how we grow. Then John and I can weigh in and then really tell them what we really think.
Yeah, I can jump in real quick. Brian, the only thing that I would just say as a take on it is that there was a few times where you really brought in some examples of things that I wasn't really thinking about. So I thought that was really great. Different ways to tackle this thing so that I win. So I did want to tell you, that was great. The only thing I would mention, or something I didn't catch, or maybe I just didn't pick up on, is that number 2 on the handling objection, like really unpacked my motivation. That would be the only thing, or that's the one thing that I would say as a tip there would be to dive into, say, where is there any pain there if you were to wait or something like that. So that's my only take on it. So.
Got it. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hey, Denny, I think you did a great job of asking a lot of questions throughout the conversation. Towards the end, I think it got towards explaining or declaring or making a statement, but throughout the whole part, he was doing a great job of just asking questions and getting to the bottom of, all right, what's going on? and how can I help you, and you know, go from there.
Okay, thank you, Ray.
Hey, Denny, I thought it was very great. I definitely thought it was good. The only tip that I see from my end is just setting the proper client expectation, where it was said that, hey, you know what, kind of, you know, if you like it, you could, you know, pretty much back out. It kind of sets the wrong expectation for the buyer, in my opinion.
Your name's not coming through. Your voice is familiar. Who are you?
This is Jan.
Jan?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We appreciate that. So, John,
Absolutely.
any words from you?
No, that
This
was it. I
John?
thought
No.
it was great. Oh,
Is there two Johns? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's me and the John you were
Yeah.
just talking to.
sorry.
John.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. John McCloud.
No, I'm actually going to change John's name from his phone number to John. John, where are you from?
From Colorado.
Perfect.
From
Got it.
Colorado.
I'm going your way, John. Kristen and I are going to be in Aspen next week.
Oh, very nice. You're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
So
in your neck of the woods right now.
where?
I'm down in Naples. I'm off 41 and 951.
There you go.
A couple miles down.
You're very close. So are you ready, Danielson? Are you ready for the sandpaper, Bryant?
Hit me with it.
All right. So here it is. Number one, for everyone, the model is behind me. Now, he didn't really follow the model. So he did some things well. He did great questions. He had a great, he's really developed a good pace. I'm very, very confident. So however, the model is acknowledgement. Did you acknowledge it? I didn't hear the acknowledgement. The acknowledgement is just, I understand, I get it, right? Whatever. You don't have to drill deep there. However, it's very important that when you have an objection that you acknowledge it, because it puts them on, you know, they put their pistols away, right? Because you're not going to fight them on it. And then you did not isolate, other than that, any other reason. You went into handling the objection. Now, maybe the 3 minutes mentally, you wanted to get right into it. However, do you acknowledge, Bryant, that you skipped those 2 steps?
Yeah.
Okay. So even in role play, which I want you guys to practice if you feel like it's going to be worthwhile. I mean, you can do anything you want. It's your business. That's just the model I teach, right? Now, what's interesting is this. I want to know if anybody else, all in all, I think you did pretty good. However, does anyone, if you had 1 minute to have a conversation, maybe you're at a red light and it's not in San Diego where you have to go through 3 red lights before you get through the intersection, right? What does anyone have a question, if you had a minute or less, that would hit them between the eyes to make that buyer maybe stop in their tracks? That's kind of the key. You know, we don't always have 3 minutes or 30 minutes. Sometimes we have to get them very quickly. Anyone want to take a wild stab at something as a question? And there's more than one. There's no one right answer. However, you guys may have been on a different thought pattern.
Here's a random one.
All
Would
right?
you be okay with getting priced out of the market? Oof.
Now, that kind of a question, okay. My first reaction to that, if I'm a buyer, and when you ask a great question, they're going to make them think. I think that was a great question, because I'm going to think, well, what do you mean? So when you get them asking you questions back, asking for more information, now their ears are kind of like Dumbo ears. They're kind of turned into you, and you have an opportunity to go deep. And so basically, going back to the red light example, they may say, well, hey, let's pull over here on the curb. Let's have this conversation. That's a good one. Any other ones that come up that you can use in a situation like this? I'll give you one example while you're thinking. When you were going through first of all, everything I see is already sold. the first thing that came into my mind is, well, you're looking at the wrong list. Now, you were going down that path. I'm just saying if this, we had to be real short on it. Well, you're looking at the wrong list. Now, if I said that to you, Bryant, what would you say?
What do you mean, Denny? I
There
don't know
you
what you
go.
mean.
What you want to do is you want to ask a question to think, well, what do you mean? And now, well, you're by the time you see the properties, they're already gone. How would you like to get in the front of the line? There's another great question. See, by the time there's no more brownies by the time you get to the dessert. The brownies are gone. So you're only left with an apple or banana. And how would you like the brownies? We have to get you in the front of the line. Here's another one. I love, you took a great tack, Brian, when you said, well, I'll tell you what, would you be willing to, if you saw a house and would you be willing, we're going to have to act quickly. So are you prepared to act quickly? Meaning, can you go see it right away? And if not, can we get an offer submitted right away? You were plugging in the urgency. And then he backed off, didn't he? He said, oh, I don't know. I might have to think about it. Okay, here's my question. Give me your thoughts on this. Well, let me ask you, which is worse to you? Seeing the home after it's already sold, meaning you were there late. You got there late. Or getting there in time to buy it and acting too slow where you lose it. Which one of those hurts the most? Any thoughts on that question?
Come on, guys. This is where you go ahead and let them know. What do you think? Someone asks you that question. How do you feel about that?
It would really make me think, if the pain is losing out on homes, what's the alternative? What are these other buyers doing to get their houses that I'm missing out on? So, yeah, I mean, if I have a chance to make different decisions as a buyer and react and get my objection is I'm not getting those houses and they're going under contract quick. So what can I do differently? So yeah, it would make me think, hey, maybe I'm not taking the right decisions, or I'm not doing the right things to get myself under contract quick like these other buyers.
So Colin, all right, I'm going to use that, Ray. So with that question, what can I do to buy a house? That's the question. Who wants to handle that? That is what we call a setup T-ball. The ball's on the tee. Who can hit it? What are all these other buyers doing to get a house and I can't get a house? Who wants to answer that? This is a red light conversation, because you're going to get them and you'll have them at hello. Who wants to take a chance on that? And Bryant almost did this. He walked it a little bit differently. However, somebody tell me that's how can I get it? I want to buy a house. These other people are successful. I'm not. What's the problem?
So that means that the buyers have to act quicker to submit an offer.
Yes. However, I want you to think of that's right, Mari. However, think of what are you selling? What are we selling?
The commitment that they have to work with us.
Yes, we're selling us. Well, the secret is the secret's the speed. However, you're not going to get the speed without the right agent. And so when towards the end of the conversation, it was winding down, he was closing. He said, well, I need to get, you have to act quicker. That would have been a perfect place for me to interject. Well, that's what I'm here for. So are you willing to be committed to someone like me who can get you there, so you at least have the option to buy it or not? Because it has, watch this, you guys, it has, in reality, it has nothing to do with speed. It has to do with the right agent. Do you agree with that? Because the right agent is not going to get them there in time, not going to set their expectations properly, like Bryant was doing. He was setting expectations. Hey, look, sometimes we're going to have to act uber fast, even if it's uncomfortable. All right, so I've done a lot of talking and you're not doing a lot of talking. So anybody hearing anything worthwhile? Anybody taking any notes? Has the last 20 minutes of this been worthwhile?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
So,
What's next,
Jenny, you want
John?
me to let's call out a couple people just randomly. I've PM'd a few people, they're ignoring me. So that's okay. So Jessica, you were first. Aha, see, she's listening. She perked up and there she is. Jessica, we're gonna give you the option. Do you want to be the agent or do you want to be the client?
I'll be the client.
You're gonna take the easy road. Awesome.
Oh yeah, softball.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. That's okay. All right. So you know what, Whitney? You're listening. Come on, Whitney. There you go.
I am.
You are the agent, Whitney. Denny, what scenario would you like them to use?
Well, that was a buyer. Let's take a seller one. Whit, can you have your camera on or are you driving?
I just parked.
Okay.
Here I am.
All right, awesome. So, all right, so you're gonna have a seller objection, and you know what? We were role playing this today. You know, I don't. I think the market's going up, and I want to ride it some more. I don't want to cash out yet, so I think selling later is better. So, Jessica, that's your objection.
Okay.
So you want to wait, right? Okay. Okay. So in a perfect world, how long do you think? I can't see that. I'm in my car.
Acknowledge. At least acknowledge and isolate.
Okay. Yeah. So I totally understand you're wanting to ride the market. Hopefully it keeps going up and you get more money. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd like to make as much as I can. And the timing's just not great right now anyway. I have a lot of things going on. So let's keep rolling and then make some more money at the same time.
I apologize. I'm having a hard time hearing her.
She did cut out a little bit. The timing's not right, and she's that's what I caught. Then I got garbled.
Yeah, the timing's not great, and I'd like to make as much money as possible. So let's let it roll for a little while.
Okay. So when you say the timing's not right, do you mean for you or in the market?
A combination. You know, the holidays are in front of us. Work's really busy. And if I can make more money by waiting, that's what I would like to do.
Okay. And so when you say more money, what do you think your home is currently worth?
Well, Zillow told me that it's worth $640,000 yesterday.
Okay. Are you familiar with what Zillow uses to get that estimate for you?
No, I just figure they know everything.
Yeah, so a lot of my clients do, but I'm here to inform you that actually Zillow pulls neighborhood statistics as opposed to your property information.
So, hang on, wait, hang on.
Sure.
I'm gonna just interrupt you here a little bit. Now, let me ask you a question. Just I'm gonna call a timeout. Why are you chasing that dog?
Who, me?
Yeah, why are you chasing that? She made a statement. You asked a great question. 640,000. Why are you going and attempting to neuter Zillow?
No, I just like to make people aware that, hey, yeah, they definitely spit out numbers, but it's not about your property. So that's exactly why we should meet, because I have accurate information.
So what's a better question to ask? That the idea behind this, Whit, is when they have information that they deem reliable, if you immediately go to, as Denny says, neutering Zillow, then many times people are going to feel that they're either being talked down to or unintelligent for going to that particular source. So what question can you ask that will continue the conversation, that will totally get off the topic of Zillow?
Well, what if I could get you more money now? I don't know.
But
I don't know what kind of question. I
What's
don't know what to
important
say.
about 640,000? What will you do when you move forward?
But if
So-
she's saying she wants more than what Zillow says, what would the question be?
Well, that's exactly where you should be. That's why I didn't want you to go down that path. What's important is, okay, Zillow says it's worth 640. What number are you waiting for? That's the issue. Remember, she wants more money. So right now, it doesn't really matter if it's accurate or not. She has an expectation that 640 is not enough. What number are you waiting for? So ask that question and see where it goes.
Okay, so Zillow says your home is worth 640. How much are you looking to get for your home?
Well, true story, another home just went for 800,000. So that would be great.
Okay, and is that home also in your neighborhood?
It is a street over, yes.
Same bedroom, same baths?
No, they have more space, admittedly, they do.
Okay, so if I could get you close to,
And the joys of being in a car, she just froze.
Yeah. Keep going though. You're on a good track. Are you back?
It looks like a picture now.
Yeah, she is not moving here, Dan.
Okay.
She was on a good track with that. Now she's
sorry,
back.
did everyone
Okay.
freeze or was it, okay. What
No, it
just
was you.
happened? Oh, good times.
So go
Yeah, so
ahead
I
and
said-
take your camera off there just for a minute, Whit, okay? So that we can just hear you. There you go.
Okay, so I said, if I could get you 800 now, would you be willing to accept that offer?
Yes.
So I'm
Okay,
gonna
great.
stop. Hang on. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna say, if you guys are paying attention, what happened there? Let's go back to the first part of Whitney's question. Why didn't who are we role playing with? Jessica. Why didn't Jessica want a list to begin with?
Not enough money.
And what else? She kind of cut out though. We
The
got
holidays, maybe.
Timing's not right, has a lot going on, whatever. So now she said 800 and you did the right thing. So if you could get 800 in this market, are you ready to move forward? She says, yes. What happened to the timing issue?
Disappeared.
Yes, it did. It disappeared. And I might even later say, well, I thought you said a minute ago the timing wasn't right. Are you saying if the money's right, the timing's right? You see? So before you guys, and again, she may be off her rocker. It may only be worth 5, right? That's not the time to have the conversation on price. It is really to find out what really is going to make her move. So Whitney asked the right question. Well, if you can get 8, well, yeah. Well, what happened to the timing? What happened to the timing, Jessica?
I'm willing to move for 160,000 more.
Okay, now land the plane, Whitney, because you asked the right question. Now land the plane.
So are you available tomorrow at 10 or maybe 4? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that you could close, and even if you were doing many times we're doing this in person. So tell you what, let's just go a little bit one step further. Let's say you're across the table from her, and she wants to list it at 800. I'm kind of curious how you're going to handle it. She wants to list it at 800. Your documentation showing you it may only be worth 7. Now I'll give you one more minute to figure out what you want to do.
Okay, great. So you'd like to get 800 for your home. Basically, all the information I have in front of me is basically showing closer to 700. Let's make a deal. Basically, pricing is all about strategy, and I hate to overshoot and let you down. What if we list the home for 749? And if in 2 weeks nothing happens, we have another conversation. Would you be open to a 2-week period where we test out my strategy to essentially try to net you 800. I'm like choking on coffee, by the way. I'm sorry.
What would happen then after 2 weeks if it doesn't go for the 749?
Well, what I can tell you is homes in this market are selling in less than 2 weeks, and that will give us a good gauge as to interest on your property. And if we're priced too high, then we'll know within a 2-week period.
That sounds fair.
Now, I'm, all right, well, you're awful nice. I'm not that nice.
I don't think I would get 700, so I'm a game.
I'm not that nice.
All right, Denny.
No. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll think it over. I'll get back to you.
Oh, okay.
Now you're dead in the water.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. What would you say?
What would I say when she said 800? I would say this.
Yeah.
I would say this, you guys. This is what. So are you saying are you ready to move forward with me to 800, Jessica?
Yes, that sounds.
Take the
really
listing.
exciting.
Take the listing.
And listed 100,000 high?
If that's what it takes to get the listing, yes, and that's their price. Did I say I was going to sell at 800?
Nope.
So then the conversation goes like this. All right, so now we're shaking hands. Okay, now it's the same question you had. What if you did this? Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, Jessica, you can see that the past sales are low, have a 7, right? And what you're asking is kind of really reaching. Wouldn't you agree?
I do agree with that.
So what would you do? What will you do if the market says no? Now I'm using tonality. I'm being very concerned and I'm kind of curious, like, what will you do if the market says no to 800?
Well, maybe that's why we should wait.
Okay. Well, what if the market was going to deliver 800? And would you want to know now?
Sooner than later, sure. More money.
Now, I don't know why you were ready to list with Whitney for 750. Now you're giving me pushback. I have no earthly idea why you're doing that. And I'm willing to list at 800. You see, my philosophy, guys, and we can go into something else now, is I'm going to take the listing and ask the question. Because when I said, no, I'm going to think it over, I'll get back to you. Have you ever had a seller then list with someone else that's going to take it at 800 in a market where there's no homes for sale? You could have said, well, I tell you what, yeah, okay, that's aggressive. However, if you win, I win. So what would you say if we tried it for 2 weeks, and if nothing happens, we can then revisit that. You could have done that and closed for the listing. Now, again, you may not want to. However, when I think of things, when a seller's paying 3 times 4 is 12, $20,000 to $25,000 commission, you're selling a house in 2 weeks. Is it worth giving the seller the benefit of the doubt in order to get the listing, particularly if they have motivation? So I know that's not typically what they teach. They want us to go in and basically get the house price right to begin with. I'm saying in this marketplace, I'm not saying take it to purposely overprice. However, I would take the listing before I'd walk away from it. And again, that's just the way I roll. Any thoughts from other people on that, including you, Whit?
I think it's obviously a great idea. And then you just have the conversation. I kind of like to prep the people instead of, what do you call it? I like to over deliver.
Well, okay, now wait a minute. I got that. However, did you set the price?
At 7, no, I didn't. Not even at 750. Or maybe I did. I don't know. What do you mean?
No, they set the price, and again, to make sure that you don't have your fingerprints on it, you're not saying that. And then, of course, you've got my 1 to 3 things outcome that you'll go through that with Jessica. Now, we'll know there's only 3 outcomes that's going to happen. And then you go through those outcomes. And anyway, so as long as you are neutral to it, she wants to try to market at 800. Okay, awesome. As you can see, it is aggressive. However, how many people have walked away from a listing because you thought it was too aggressive and it sold? Or an offer comes in at 750 or 760 or 70, surprising the heck out of you, and next thing you know, they take it. So
Yeah, true story.
no right or wrong. That's just the way I roll. And in this market, I'm just teaching my guys, don't walk away from a listing as long as you don't have your fingerprints and DNA on the number. John, what's next?
So basically, I'm just going to read into the underlying comment there that just take the listing today that I was questioning whether I should take it or not. Thanks for that subtle reminder. Appreciate it. I will do that. Okay, so so next, Moses, are you in the house?
Yes, what did you need?
Awesome. I need you to be an agent, Moses. What are you talking about? You know what I need. Dina Johnson from Marco Island.
Dina.
Hey, I'm driving right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. So who would like an easy one? Moses is not getting the easy one because the answer right. Moses is the agent. Who would like the easy one and is going to be the client?
It can be the client.
All right. Perfect.
Maria, nice job.
All right. Moses, you are the agent. Mara, you are the client. Bryant, what's the scenario going to be?
I don't know.
Putting
I
everybody
came
on the
with the
spot.
first one. I gave everyone that. Yeah, do you? I mean, I don't know.
Who's got a scenario they're working right now? They want to hear done real time and live.
How about the buyers that are hesitant?
Okay. All right. So Mara, you're going to give the objection that you're hesitant, and for whatever reason you think you're hesitant, whether it's you don't want to overpay for the house.
Yes, Moses. You know what? I see that this market, everybody is offering more, and I just don't want to overpay and then find out myself next year that my house dropped in price. I just don't want to do that. Maybe I should wait until everything calms down.
Okay, that sounds good. That's totally up to you. But just like your last offer, the very good deal that was available closed for $45,000 over the asking price. So if you feel your offer is realistic, we can write the offer. What do you think?
I think the realistic price would be what is the the real price of the appraisal, but people are paying a lot more, offering removing appraisal. I mean, I do have the money, but I don't want to overpay and find myself underwater in next year.
Okay, so you want a property. Do you want this property?
I want the property for the right price. I just don't want to pay $40,000-$50,000 more. I can.
Okay, how much do you want to offer?
Yeah, I want to offer what the price of that house, which is $500,000. That's what I want to offer, $500,000. I don't want to pay $550,000.
If I contact the agent now and he explains what the seller wants, and he will take your preemptive offer now, are you willing to work with that?
Yeah, for $500,000, yeah, I'll like to submit an offer.
Okay, great.
So I want to get into your head, Moses.
Sure.
So I'm the agent, I'm the listing agent. And I'm telling you, Moses, you better go back up to Mount Sinai, right? Because this isn't going to work. I've had 18 showing appointments set up today, and I already have 4 offers, and they're all over asking price. So that'd be a big fat no.
Okay, so what does your seller want?
They want the most they can get in this marketplace, Moses.
Okay, so can you give me an idea of what I would have to do to be the winning offer?
Now, interesting. Have you asked another agent that?
Yesterday, about 12 hours ago, or maybe 15 hours ago.
And what did that agent say?
I have 22 showings, Denny. Okay, so
did they give you an answer?
It was, he doesn't have anything in writing, so it's hard for him to answer, but yes.
Well, if so, let me just reverse this, guys. Now, Moses, you are the listing agent. I'm calling you. Hey, you've got all this activity going on. You've got 4 offers already in. You've got 10 more showings. Hey, what do I have to do, Moses, to have my buyer own this house?
Well, we want your highest and best with a quick close. Put it in writing, and we're willing to accept your preemptive offer if it's that good.
What is preempt? How do you define a preemptive offer?
That means that there's a deadline set for next week on when they're going to choose the offer. However, if the seller likes your offer, they can close now, so we don't have to wait.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this question then. Okay, you're the agent still. Then back on eBay, they used to have a buy it now number. Is there a buy it now number for your seller?
I don't know. That's the answer I got.
Well, you see, I'm only taking a few minutes here and having this conversation because if I'm a listing agent, I'm not telling you that. You know, I'm not giving you that information. Now, good for you if you can ask someone who's inexperienced. However, I'm going to say 99 times out of 100, you're not going to get the information. And besides that, I'll let you go back to your client now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've just said we've got multiple offers. They're all over asking price. You have a challenge with your buyer, Mari, because she does not want to pay more than asking price. Now you've got to go back to Mari. Let me see how you handle it now. Going back to the buyer that is stuck on the asking price. That's the issue you haven't dealt with yet.
That's an issue that I cannot deal with because I think the last time we talked, I was in the same exact position where you know, I had people that first had me write a winning offer and then went back because I don't know if they knew they were going to win or they just ran out of money or what, but you know, I had to change it to an offer that was lesser, and you know, then those offers didn't even become anything, you know. So we're all kind of in the same position when it comes to making someone, you know, perform.
So Moses, think about it this way. All right. Have you ever bought anything on eBay?
Me?
Okay. And eBay typically has a starting price and you're like, man, that's awesome. You never get it for that price. So how can you let Mari know that asking price is a starting price and not market value?
Okay. So you want me to be descriptive and simple?
Absolutely. And the question might be something like this. You know, Mari, in today's market, $500,000 is a suggested starting price for a home. If you were to wake up tomorrow and found out that somebody bought this for $510,000, how would you feel?
Not good. Because I could have paid it $510,000.
Okay. So, Omari, at what point do you get up in the morning and say, under no circumstances would I have paid that much for the house?
I mean, I could offer $520,000, but can we find out how much are the other offers? I don't want to pay too much.
I understand not wanting to pay too much. Let me ask you, Omari, is the market working for you or against you right now?
Against me as a buyer because I had to pay more.
Okay. So in 2 or 3 months, do you think that you would be paying more than $520,000 for this house?
You know, that is my concern. It is uncertain. I don't know what would be in the future. It might drop. I don't know.
It might. You know what? It might go up and it might go down. We just don't know. So the question again is you wake up tomorrow morning and somebody paid $521,000 for the house. How do you feel?
I think $520,000 is my max. I'll be fine if somebody pay more. Yeah.
your best chance of getting this house is 520. You're out to get a home for you and your family and not necessarily feel like you beat out somebody else by a nickel, right?
Well, you put it that way. I think,
Winning is getting your offer accepted, correct?
yes.
My advice to you is that you put in the best offer that you can to position yourself in the best light to this seller versus everyone else.
So you suggest that I should offer how much do you suggest I can offer?
Now,
If
that
you
is a
wake up-
trap question. Hang on, John. I want you guys to know that is a very real scenario, and it is a trap. Let's see if John falls in it.
Yep, it is absolutely a trap. And Mari, I want you to get this house, and I'm pretty sure you want to get this house. You need to offer a number that you are comfortable with, that when you wake up tomorrow morning, you get the house, you're thrilled. If you didn't get the house, even if you lost it by $500, you are okay with that.
Okay. Then it would be 525, and that would be my max. I cannot go more than that. And then if I don't get it, I'll find another house, whether it's now or next year.
Okay, terrific. So let's put this at 525 and put our best foot forward right from the start.
So Moses, you there?
Yes.
Okay, so what's your comment on that? And then I want to go in the last couple of minutes here. I want to ask.
Denny, I thought about you all week, first of all, because I just started performing this myself, and I caught myself doing it, and it felt good. Okay, secondly, I'm going to use that this afternoon. Pick a number that you're comfortable winning or losing with. How should I lead? Should I lead with winning? Pick the highest and best number that you're comfortable with, whether you win or lose. How should I say that?
Well, as I kind of put a bow in, let me answer this for everyone's benefit. It's not really going to be comfortable. Here's the biggest thing, and John was following the model beautifully that we've done before. He's adding his personality to it, allowing them to pick the number. Mari said, and I took notes when she was originally talking, that's why this is helping me listen, you guys. Unless you're driving, you should be writing things down, because she said overpay 3 times. So you have to define what does overpay mean. Throughout the conversation, her definition of overpaying is paying over the asking price. So you've got buyers out there that are looking at the asking price, and that's what they think is basically, if you pay more than that, then they're overpaying. John used a great example, and we call that in this marketplace, hey, the market's not working in your favor. That's the starting line. So if you go into a conversation with someone and they don't want to pay over the asking price, we can accomplish that. Moses, we can accomplish that. We're going to go look at the houses that have been on the market for 180 days that are overpriced.
Okay.
And those sellers probably aren't going to get more than asking price because the market's already said no, however, in a new listing. And so the first objective, you've got to get them into the definition of terms. If they think the market price, what's more important? You getting not paying more than market value, or not paying more than asking price. And then you walk them through, is that okay? This is a sealed bid auction. You're going to have one opportunity. You're going to have to put your best foot forward. I would just leave out the comfortable part. It will not be comfortable. Any opinion on that?
Did I use the word comfortable in my conversation?
I think you did. But Moses asked about it. So I think he was going to go back to his buyer and say, well, we got it, whatever was most comfortable. You've got Moses, you've got one shot. What is that one shot? Well, never pay more than 510. This is what John did. Well, what if it sold for 510, 500? How would you feel? I would feel really good. Then 510 is not your best. She asked, what should I offer? The answer is simple. Your best. Do not give them a number. That's the trap, because when you let those say, we'll hoe about 515 and they lose it, guess what? It's on you. Is that helpful?
Very helpful.
And I love it when people are thinking about me all day. And I don't owe them money. So any ahas today, you guys? We have one more class this month, and then we'll maybe we should have a gift exchange. So let's share a couple ahas. We love that. This is our reward.
Yeah, one, don't leave your fingerprint on it, whether you're in a listing conversation and they want to know what should I list my house at or what should I offer. Just leave your fingerprints off of it, let them make the decision and guide them to make their best offer, whatever it may be.
Yes. And they'll ask you, what do you think? You think 520 will get it? What do you say, Ray?
If I'm the buyer,
You're the buyer, you're making the offer. You think 520 will get it? I'm asking you, I'm the buyer, you're the agent. You think 520 will get it?
How would you feel if somebody if somebody got it for 521? How would that make you feel?
Well, I wouldn't feel good. However, you think 520 is enough?
Then that's what you should put. If that's what you feel is enough for you, then I suggest going the way that you feel is enough for you.
Yes, I hear you, but I'm not. When I go that way, I'm feeling like you're blessing it. So you want to make sure that they're not walking away. They're looking that you're blessing it. You want to say, "Look, I don't know."
Okay.
However, is that your best? Tell them, "I don't know."
Right.
If I did, I'd be on the beach drinking a rum drink.
Come on, you can't.
I've been waiting for that one, Denny.
I know. All right, one more aha, and I'll let you go. Go Christmas shopping.
Take the
I
listing.
like the difference. Sorry. Yep.
Oh,
Take the
that's right.
listing always. I was just going to say I like the difference between the asking price and market value. Are you okay with, I don't know. I don't know how to word what I'm saying, but you know what I mean.
Yes, and another quick story I'll tell you is like concert tickets or football tickets. You go and you buy face value of the Super Bowl, pay $2,500. That was the sticker price, the asking price then. The day of the game, they're going for $5,000. That's the market value. Everyone understands that. Are they overpaying at $5,000? No, because someone else is going to buy it at $5,000. So one is the asking price, the other is the demand or market price. So thanks, Whitney. And yeah, well, you knew that. I don't know. Maybe you're humoring me about taking the listing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe you'll have something good that happens. And John, yes, you should take the listing and just set expectations. Remember, we don't set prices, we set expectations. And we appreciate you being on the call. John, Sonny, everyone that participated, those that didn't say anything yet were on the call. We love you, mean it. And in words of Hill Street Blues, be careful out there. See you next week.
Quick question, Denny.
Yeah.
What's the one line for the market value versus sticker price? What's your cleanest line?
So how do you don't, so let me ask you, what more are you focused on? The asking price or market value? Oh, well, what do you mean?
Okay.
And you could give them a quick example. For example, somebody pays $500,000. It was listed at $525,000. Buyer B paid $525,000 and it was listed at $500,000. Who got the better deal?
Thank you.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Bye.